If you're anything like me, you're absolutely sick of these online influencers in the fitness industry continually making building muscle seem like rocket science. Every single time you go online these days, it seems like everything is just overcomplicated. People are pulling out all these different studies which are contradicting each other, just making it seem like building muscle is a lot harder and a lot less simple than it actually is. And the reality is that building muscle and getting in shape, getting jacked, it's actually really, really simple and it's very achievable within 1 year of going to the gym. So I've currently been going to the gym for 5 years and I fell into this trap along the way where I was looking at all these science-based influences online. I was looking at these different studies, which a lot of the time are actually flawed. And I spent far too much time kind of wasting my time in the gym. Whereas if I had really dialed in some of these key basic habits I'm going to teach you today, I could have got really good results in just 1 year. The first thing I'm going to go over is you have to make it something which is enjoyable. This is really crucial because so many people, especially beginners, really actually miss this part. And you have to ask yourself, who's going to make more gains? The person who buys into all the science-based fitness influencer community and they do all these different weird exercises and they overcomplicate everything and then eventually quit 6 months later because it's not enjoyable. Or someone who just picks a set of exercises and a routine that works for him, which he really enjoys doing and which actually enhances his life, and then keeps doing it for 2, 3, 4 years. At the end of this period, it's just the person who just stayed consistent with it, who made it enjoyable for himself, who didn't feel like going to the gym was a chore, and just stuck with a routine which he knew that he would enjoy and which he could stick to long term. So this is absolutely crucial, especially when it comes to people just overcomplicating everything. If you keep chopping and changing up things and looking at new ways to do things, you're eventually just going to burn out and it's going to make it so much less enjoyable. Working out is going to feel like a chore and you're just going to quit. Lesson number 2 is to prioritize getting stronger. This is something which is absolutely essential and all the research points to the same thing. That building muscle and getting stronger go hand in hand. So if you want to get jacked, you want to build up a nice frame, you absolutely need to make getting stronger the priority each and every time you go to the gym. So people like to think that getting the pump and getting a lot of blood flow into the muscles and slowing down the tempo leads to muscle growth. Whereas the reality is that all of this temporary swelling in the muscles actually doesn't correlate into long-term muscle growth. And if you end up going on holiday and having 1 week off the gym, you're just going to find that your physique looks really flat. The only way that you actually can truly build up muscle is by getting stronger. So in order to do this, I highly recommend that you pick a key set of exercises that you can get stronger in, which are really going to help develop that physique that you want. So for example, for your shoulders, I normally do an overhead press, then I do an incline bench press for my upper chest. And then for my back, I do some lateral work, which would likely be a wide grip lateral pull down. And just pick some key exercises which are going to give you that physique that you want, that V-taper, that strong upper body. And just prioritize getting stronger on these exercises in a moderate rep range of 6 to 10 reps. The next lesson is that you don't need to work out 6 days a week. This is completely overblown and this is way too much volume. The reason why this is too much is because, simply put, you're not building muscle in the gym. In the gym, you're creating the stimulus, and where you build muscle is from proper rest and recovery. So if you're constantly working out 6 days a week, your body's going to be so sore the whole time, you're going to get all these nagging pains, and you're also going to increase your chance of injury. And you're really doing it for no benefit, because at the same time, you're not giving your body and your muscles enough time to actually fully recover so that when you go back into the gym, you're going to be able to hit PRs and get stronger, which is the only thing that really matters. So this is why a lot of these influencers online who are taking drugs and taking steroids are actually really not helping people. A lot of the time it's just because they play by a different set of rules and they're getting a lot more help than a natural bodybuilder would, which is what 99% of their audience is. So when they propose going to the gym 5, 6 days a week for an hour and a half each time to get the gains they want, it's actually doing a lot more harm than good because your recovery is absolutely crucial when it comes to working out. So I highly recommend pick a 3 or 4 day split which you find enjoyable that you can stick to and just stick to this long term. So my next point is that you should really prioritize intensity over volume. This is absolutely crucial because so many people, when they go to the gym, they think that they need a lot more volume than they actually do. And what happens when they do this is because they think that they need to do all these different sets and all these different exercises, is they actually drop down on the level of intensity which they're bringing to the table during their working sets. So I want you to think of it like this. Imagine you're a builder and you're hammering a nail into a piece of wood and you're building a house. Once you've hammered in that nail, there's actually not too much more you can actually really do. If you just keep hammering at the nail, you're not going to actually benefit at all. And what's going to happen is you're probably just going to damage the wood and it's just going to lead to actually a detrimental impact. So this is exactly how building muscle works. You only really need 2 to 3 hard working sets on each muscle group to get up to 90 to 95% of the stimulus. This is all you need. If you keep going beyond this, what you're going to do is you're just going to create excess fatigue, and all of your subsequent sets, all of your subsequent workouts following this are going to be compromised because you're carrying over all this fatigue you've built up from your previous workouts. So this is why, instead of just putting on volume, rushing between sets, thinking you need more than you do, just prioritize picking that muscle group and doing 2 to 3 really hard working sets and get that stimulus, and make sure that you're progressively overloading and just increasing the amount of stress your muscles are under each time. My final point, which is something which I made a huge mistake in for years, is to make sure that you have intention when you go to the gym. This is why a lot of people work out consistently and they don't make any gains. It's because they don't actually go into the gym with proper intention in mind. So for example, this could be checking your lifts last week and saying, okay, I hit 6 reps for 100 kg bench press last week. This week I'm going to do 7 or 8 reps, or I'm going to increase the weight a little bit. And just have that in the back of your mind so you have that focus going into your workout, so you know exactly what you're trying to do and exactly what your goal is. The reason why not having this really doesn't help you is because you're just going in there and you're just going to go through the motions, but you're actually not ensuring that this workout is going to be productive because you haven't actually looked at what you need to do and how you need to implement this to actually increase growth and increase your muscle growth. So, for example, the mistake I made was just going in and just doing whatever machine was free when I was working out. And this really hindered my ability to actually progressively overload and make sure I was building strength. And this just had an impact on my focus as well. And I was just going to the gym for the point of going to the gym and just getting a pump on, but I wasn't actually building true muscle. So it's therefore very important that you have focus, you know exactly what your goal is for each workout, which is also going to make it a lot more fun and give you a lot more motivation. And then go in there with intention to beat what you did last week and progressively overload on that movement. So these are some really, really important key lessons for how you can go from, if you're skinny, this is really going to help build your physique up and help you get jacked in just 1 year if you stick to these gym concepts. So I hope this helped you, and let me know what you think in the comments below.